I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Action Comics Special Issue number 1. Before Dan Jurgens closes the page on the Man of Steel, we first need to find out whatever became of Lex Luthor. Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Okay then, so as we join the book, someone has broken into the Fortress of Solitude, not an easy feat. Their outline is all too familiar. They look like big, bald, and evil himself, Lex Luthor. Why is he there? Well, he's getting a bunch of information on Superman, mainly figuring out once and for all that he is Clark Kent. He also probably used the Kryptonian technology to find out why children love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I know I would. Now, back in Metropolis, Superman and Superboy are getting ready for a guy's weekend. Lois is going away to Paris to hunt down a very important story, but the evening gets shattered when John ends up getting a terrifying text. You see, someone knows exactly what plane Lois is riding on, calls out an attack, and even more so refers to her as Mrs. Superman. Oh, now that last bit just isn't fair. She prefers to be called Miss Superman Lane. She hyphenates. They had a whole big conversation about it. Big Blue rushes into action to save his wife, and I'm sure all the other people on the plane who would have died if this whole missile plot had managed to work itself out. The weird thing is that these missiles aren't your regular, normal, everyday weapons of death. They're half human material and also half Kryptonian material. And from there, the wheels start turning, and it doesn't take a Batman-level detective for Superman to figure out what's going on here. It was a Lex Airlines flight. These were LexCorp missiles, assembled by someone who had to be incredibly intelligent. There's really only one answer for all of this, and that is Lex Luthor, despite his current dalliances with superheroics, has finally broken bad once again. Only when Superman hits up his office, he denies all wrongdoing, and not in the regular rich white CEO way of denying all wrongdoing. There's actually some proof pointing to Lex not being involved, not the least of which being his battle suit that hasn't been used in the last 36 hours. A suit that, by the way, he's completely reworked since his last falling out with Superman. No longer does it carry the House of L symbol, but just the good old Lex initials. Now, Lois isn't going to let a little thing like an attempt on her life slow her down. She's back in the office the very next day, only she comes under attack once again the very next day. The villain in question says that at the end of the day, it isn't kryptonite that's Superman's true weakness, it's Lois that will bring him down in the end. This villain is revealed to be Lex Luthor in a bigger, badder, newer battlesuit made with both LexCorp tech as well as based off designs from the old Kryptonian battle armors. But wait, how could any of this be possible, you might be asking? It gets even crazier when the destruction ends up actually disturbing Lex Luthor, who shows up in a modern suit to try and save people from getting hurt. Superman ends up doing battle with the second Lex Luthor. This gets pretty difficult considering that the Kryptonian battle suit has been made for the sole purpose to, well, you know, fight other Kryptonians. Superman eventually cracks the suit wide open like a can of tuna, and on the inside he's shocked to discover an 80-year-old Lex Luthor near his deathbed, but still very smart enough to master time travel in an attempt to get over on his arch-rival one last time. Even if all of the strain of everything that's been going on recently causes him to have a heart attack and his suit to explode before current-day Lex gets a chance to see what's going on. What's crazy though is that as the comic winds down, Superman opts not to tell Lex Luthor about the actions of his more evil future self, hoping perhaps in some way that Lex will choose to go a different way in his life, and that perhaps this future battle can be stopped before it even gets a chance to start. So that was Action Comics Special number 1, everybody, and overall it was a pretty decent send-off to Jurgens' era on Superman, of which one of the coolest aspects has always been the shifting morality of Lex Luthor. I appreciate they just didn't flip a magic switch in this issue and make him be a bad guy again just so the status quo could be maintained, but instead they imply that, you know, history isn't set in stone yet. Yes, Lex is mad at Superman, he's not working directly with him, he doesn't have a lot of respect for him right now, but at the same time he still might be trying to be a hero in his own right, and seeing as he's going to have a big part in Justice League No Justice, maybe we haven't seen the last of heroic Lex Luthor just yet. Well, except for when Doomsday Clock ends up hitting about 3 years in the future of this current storyline, but you know, there's lots of time for that. Well, this issue didn't change my life. I did walk away feeling pretty good having read it, which is why I would give it a 7 out of 10. So that's the comic, everyone. one, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, be sure to take a closer look at some of these other videos I've been working on. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at CaveJoel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you like what I do and are feeling in a supportive mood, please by all means check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So until next time, everyone, this has been CaveJoel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.